lost. There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Welcome, guys, to BSL21, the round of 8. I'm joined here by RiceHat. RiceHat, how you doing today, man?
I am doing good. How are you, good sir?
Yeah, doing really good. Really excited to get in the round of 8 today. Today we have for you guys, we have StRyKeR versus Sziky, going to be our first series today. And then we got Dewalt and Hawk coming up after that. And then we will also do the first bit of the losers match. So we're going to do the loser of those two series, going to play each other. And that means we will be losing one player in the round of 8 today, and it'll be kind of the same process tomorrow. So we're going to be down to 7 players remaining today, 6 players remaining tomorrow as we go. So a lot on the line today. And yeah, I mean, looking at the lineup here, a lot of really strong players, kind of as you expect when you're getting this deep into a bracket that is as premier as BSL.
Yeah, it seems like we've weeded out a lot of the weaker players, and now we're basically only left with like the strongest contenders, basically just the top players in the foreign scene. Sziky, Dewalt, of course, considered like top tier, like top 5, kind of like in outside of Korea. StRyKeR, Hawk, I think a little bit weaker, but they're both also considered like very top tier foreigners. So I'm pretty excited to see who makes it out, although I do think that Sziky Dewalt has the edge. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that, right? Sziky, Dewalt, obviously, like, kind of in their respective races, definitely top 1, top 2 players, right? So StRyKeR and Hawk, they have a lot cut out for them, right? Our American Zergs are going to have it. Yeah, it's going to be a tough day for them. You know, Sziky does talk about how he hates ZZZ.
Oh no.
And he always talks about how he wants to avoid it, but I'll be honest with you, every time I've watched him play ZZZ, he looks really, really good at it. So I don't know if it's just he just doesn't enjoy the way the matchup flows or what, but I haven't really seen him lose a ZZZ yet.
I think it's definitely possible to have your least favorite matchup also kind of be your best matchup.
Yeah.
Especially since ZZZ feels like the weird match, like the weird game compared to all the other like matchups in StarCraft. It's the one where you only basically have 2 units, right? Like all the other ones are strategically like super interesting. Like it could go really, really late, split the map, that kind of stuff. And a lot of Zerg players, maybe like Sziky, like to play that kind of late game style. So it is just possible that this micro heavy like gameplay, which he might be very good at, just isn't the kind of StarCraft he likes playing.
Yeah. And as we're talking about that, like, look at that, right? His ZVZ win rate in BSL is 84% win rate. He does feel like ZVP is his best. It's at 51%. But to be fair, it's the pro tosses you run into in BSL is more the problem, more so than maybe a skill at the matchup. But yeah, we see the map lineup here. We're going to start off with Radion, then Litmus, Knockout, Polestar, and then Dominator if we get to that. Roaring Currents, Metropolis banned between these 2 players. Roaring Currents, not super surprising. We're probably going to see that banned almost every series, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the weirder maps of this pool. But damn, I really want to comment on the 84% win rate against Zerg. That is actually incredible. Like, you basically win every single ZVZ.
Yeah,
maybe he hates ZVZ because it's too easy for him.
Yeah, you're starting to border on kind of Jaedong versus Zerg, right? When you have win rates like that. So, yeah, it is funny because ZVZ is such a kind of like build order oriented matchup, more so than I think any other matchup in the game, to be honest with you. So really, to have
more so
that
than PvP.
I think so, because there's a lot of PvP builds you can do that kind of forces a neutral game, say like Bonnet and Dewalt play that way, right? So you're always kind of forced into essentially Goon Reaver or something like that, right? You can't really kill them early no matter what you're doing. Whereas ZVZ, you can't really do anything about it because you can't get the you're not guaranteed to get the information fast enough before you've decided your build. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But here we go. First map looks like it is going to be on Radion. The thing about maps in ZVZ is it's the games all look kind of the same regardless of what maps you go on. The only thing that's kind of interesting about these 4-player maps is the distinction between like, okay, cross spawn and close spawn and who scouts each other first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing, for sure. I'm a little sad that we don't get a Roaring Current ZVZ, because I'd be really curious to see.
That
how
would have been
plays
really
out,
nice
but
to see.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess
like our players.
Sorry,
Sorry.
you go first.
Yeah, looks like our players are ready, so we're gonna hop into the first game here. We got StRyKeR versus Sziky here on Radeon. And I can start us off here. Spawning here in the top right corner, we have our blue Zerg StRyKeR from America.
And on the top left, our Hungarian Zerg player, it is Zziky. So another thing about Radeon that could be noteworthy in this matchup is that all of the ramps and the choke points are very wide. So we have these reverse ramps. Of course, reverse ramps are notoriously hard to try and cross, but they are like fairly fat reverse ramps. And the entrances to the natural are also pretty big, even with the eggs kind of containing them a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's actually, that is actually valid because, yeah, whenever there's like eggs or minerals or anything blocking it, it makes it extremely hard to break up, right? We do have these wider ramps, like you're saying, so it can potentially be more rewarding for Ling aggression.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to start off with an early pool here from StRyKeR. I do believe that was a 9 pool. So we're going to get our Lings out as fast as possible and our gas. I don't know a whole lot about this matchup. I mean, we're kind of 2 Terran players, so...
I've learned a little bit. I've been learning a little bit. I'm still going to make a lot of bad calls. It's guaranteed to happen, but we're getting there, so... Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get 12 pool versus 9 pool. So what StRyKeR did is essentially kind of it's like the most comfortable thing for a lot of Zerg players because you're not vulnerable to anything. It gives you the kind of the early control. So what we should see here is we're gonna see a hatchery out of StRyKeR, probably at the natural, and we're gonna have essentially drones pulled with Lings to try to defend the natural. And that's what I thought was gonna happen, but StRyKeR, or sorry, I got the players mixed up. I apologize. We got Sziky going for a hatchery, and it's not going to be this natural. He's actually tucking the hatchery inside of his main to hide it.
Oh, so I think this is screaming Ling aggression to me, right? Like, why else would you put the hatchery somewhere where you couldn't see it? And I bet it's even so far away that the creep won't even touch. So if StRyKeR like hovers his overlord above the hatchery, he might not even notice any extra creep lying around. Right? Yeah.
Well, the issue is going to be that StRyKER is a good enough player that he knows what this pull timing is. So he's going to realize that a hatchery is missing. It's unfortunate for Sziky that they get the first scout here, so his play shouldn't really work out. StRyKER should know, with that Ling timing, that there's something missing.
All right, we see the conga line already starting to form on both sides of this ramp. This is, of course, the a common feature of all ZVZs is players spending 500 APM trying to get their Lings to be tucked as tightly as possible here into their little concaves. This makes it really, really difficult to engage into, just like if you're trying to attack through it for both the player on the bottom side and the top side.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Ziki's going to make enough, is going to try and make a lot of Lings to bust this wide open. He is making a lair, and that sort of makes me wonder if we're going to try and get into mutas, or if it's just kind of either a fake out or trying to transition into the late game eventually, but we're still going to stick with Ling aggression.
Yeah. And there we did see that Overlord was looking around the base like, hey, where's your hatchery, right? And he found the creep. He confirms it, so he knows that he's on that extra larva production. I mean, I would say this is like slightly Sziky favored still, because he had a little bit more eco. He's going to have that extra larva. We'll see what kind of aggression can get done. Of course, his lair is going to be much slower, and StRyKeR does have this really good positioning. Ooh, and actually, Sziky not finding good spots there without those Lings. Actually, just a great setup from StRyKeR.
This is not working out at all for Sziky, but StRyKeR does move out of position just a little bit, and he's going to get punished for it. All of these Lings going down here, and he's forced to make a sunken at home.
Yeah, I think StRyKeR was. I mean, it was definitely open to trade better than he did, and I actually thought it was gonna go better than it did for him. But he does get that sunken down at home because he knows that this is gonna be coming. He's got a few extra drones out, I believe, and he's getting his own extra hatchery to catch up. He does have mutas on the way, but any drone losses here can be extremely painful for StRyKeR.
Now this is a really, really good SimCity setup here from StRyKeR. It is going to be very difficult for these Lings to find any sort of opening to try and get some drone damage. And for a second there, I thought he was going to retreat, but he's actually holding down the Z key and continuing on with the Ling aggression.
Ooh, gonna right-click on the top of the Spire. This is really smart because there's not a way to drill through those Lings. So that Spire looks like it is gonna go down, and a couple drones as well behind it. So it's kind of do or die for StRyKeR now on the back side of this. We do have some mutas, maybe some Scourge as well for Sziky coming. Yeah, actually just pure Scourge here for Sziky. So it's gonna take essentially perfect micro from StRyKeR, but it's such a hard position for him. Couple connections already going down. 2 mutas remaining here with the reinforcements, and it looks like Sziky is going to be able to clean this up. Was that a missed shot? I didn't know you could miss Scourge.
I guess you can... I think all units have a 1 in 256 chance of missing, but I guess for some reason my brain didn't process that. That might also apply to air units.
Yeah, I don't know that I've like ever seen it happen to air. Oh, you know what? I have, actually. Yeah, it just feels like it happens so much less often, I guess, because you're fighting air less often. Yeah, my brain also was like, you can't miss air units.
Yeah, but anyways, looking at this game, I think Sziky has basically shot extremely far ahead, killing that Spire. I mean, I was praising the SimCity earlier, but the Spire was actually in a very vulnerable position because the drones couldn't drill past it. So there wasn't really a whole lot he could do to defend it. And now without a Spire, like, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of play for StRyKeR here.
Yeah, it does feel like it's kind of over for StRyKeR. He's going to try to find some angles. We have all these Scourge chasing these 2 mutas, and 2 mutas can't really micro against the Scourge very well, so they're going to start connecting. One of the mutas is going to go down. One of them did get tapped, so StRyKeR going to go ahead and GG. Sziky going to take this first win. Yeah, even with the mutas in his main, right?
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate loss there for StRyKeR. I sort of wonder if pulling back the Lings from the conga line was a bit of a rash decision there. Like, I understand why they do it. You kind of want to cycle out like the hurt Lings and try to like reform the line. But in that case, Sziky just kind of pounced on it and just he just broke through immediately.
Yeah, Sziky with no hesitation. As soon as he opened up a little bit of a window there, he just kind of smashed the Lings through, right? It's hard to say for me what StRyKeR could have done different looking back at it. Like, maybe he gets the initial good trades and then retreats back home. But, or yeah, also defending with the mutas, right? I had that thought as well, but I wasn't sure. I guess he felt pressured, or maybe he thought he was going to be okay, right? With the sunken and everything and the drill. He didn't really consider that Spire being targeted.
Yeah, it is possible he just didn't realize how many Lings were coming across the map. But, like, we saw Sziky... I feel like he did, like, a little bit of a fake out there when he, like, ran the Lings back, and maybe StRyKeR was like, oh, okay, now it's time for me to attack. But yeah, like, that many Lings, you need the mutas back home to even have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen Sziky do this build, I think, twice now, actually, with this kind of tucked hatchery, where he starts pulling Lings. But yeah, even though StRyKeR did get that first guy and he kind of saw what was happening, it was, like I said, it's still a slight build order advantage for Sziky, right? And yeah, while 9 pool is the kind of like the more standard comfortable build, from what I've seen and been observing, at least at the higher levels, 9 pool speed doesn't really work very often, because it's really, the only time it's like an auto win is if they're going 12 hatch, and even then I guess it's not like 100%, but it's like unbelievably hard for the 12 hatch player. And other than that, it's weak essentially against any timing or any pool timing that's later than 9 pool.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense. It does feel like the very safe build that you pull out where when you think your opponent is going to do something really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in this particular case, right, StRyKeR just didn't have any Lings, right? And I guess there is like theory behind like, oh, how do you defend against every other kind of build? But yeah, it's obviously hard to execute if you just don't have the numbers.
Yeah. I would love to see Sziky on the 12 hatch here, but looks like our players are ready. We're going to get Litmus for a game 2, StRyKeR versus Sziky. Spawning here in the top right corner. Currently down 0-1. We have our red Zerg StRyKeR.
And on the bottom right, the blue Zerg from Hungary, it is Sziky.
Okay.
All
yeah,
right.
I was gonna say I'd love to see a 12 hatch from Sziky, but maybe not on this map. I kind of think 12 hatch on this map's a little bit. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. You got the extra gases anyway, and maybe on 2-player maps it's not the best idea either.
Yeah, I feel like if there's any map to just stay on one base, it's definitely this map. And also being a 2-player map, going for something really greedy always feels like extra risky, you know? Because you get scouted right away, first of all, and also every rush feels like it hits faster because they're like, they know exactly where you are, right? Like there's no like cross spawn chance.
You know, a build I think on this map is maybe underused or has some potential is going 12 pool with an in-base hatchery because you have a second gas in base anyway. I feel like this like has to be some untapped potential here in this matchup.
I see what you, yeah, like that's essentially just a safer version of expanding with 2 gases, right? Like you essentially accomplish the same thing, but you only have 1 base to defend.
Oh, he is gonna go 12 hatch. I love it. So we got 11 pull from StRyKeR versus 12 hatch here from Sziky.
He puts
we're doing it in. Okay, I like it.
That's such a funny place to put it. Like, it's almost it makes like a little checkerboard pattern with the hatcheries and the gases.
Yeah. You know, when I was talking about going 12 hatch, I was wondering about it on this map, doing it like this. Because it's essentially the same concept of going 12 pull like I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
But just even greedier. So, yeah, the reason I was thinking 12 hatch would be good here is because you just went 12 pull and your opponent went 9 pull, right? So it feels like they're going to try something a little less aggressive after how poorly that went for StRyKeR. And so that's why I was thinking 12 hatch might be good here. So maybe Sziky is thinking the same thing. I got a little scared on the map for it. Sziky, though, doesn't blink and is going to have a pretty nice build order advantage here to start us off.
Yeah, Sziky once again playing the dice game or the mind game, kind of depends on who you ask. Very well this series. I mean, yeah, it just kind of seems like he's getting the build order advantage both games here. And being the stronger player, this is always something you want, right? Like it's like the odds become even more insurmountable once you realize that not only are you playing against the top player in Europe, but also like he has a build order advantage. We're going to see if StRyKeR can make something happen here. His Ling is going to come in here and scout that we do, in fact, have a second hatchery up. So he should be able to understand from this just exactly what's going on.
Yeah. It's a little painful for StRyKeR. You're definitely not happy to see that. But he does have his lair, like, incredibly faster than Sziky. Sziky went for a lot more Lings, actually. I wonder if Ziki's planning on getting aggressive with Lings. Like, I know we're just going to drone here, so he'll probably just pump drones then for the next unforeseeable future.
Yeah, it looks like StRyKeR is going for a really fast Spire here. So our mutas are going to finish a lot quicker than Ziki's.
Yeah, I wonder if we do we have time to go. Okay, yeah, he should be fine. I was wondering if he might have to go Spores, but I think he's going to be fine. So he's going to use Ling Aggression to essentially kind of take away from the muta timing as best he can, or kind of threaten counterattacks while getting his own Spire up. So I think he's... What is the drone count? Do we have a little bit of a drone lead here for StRyKeR? So we're 8 there.
11.
Yeah, okay, so a couple extra drones here for Sziky. So he's just going to have that extra eco while he's being aggressive here.
Yeah, this is kind of how you want to deal with this situation when you're behind on mutas. If you just pressure, if you just put on enough pressure and force the mutas to stay at home, then that of course buys you enough time for you to get mutas of your own. But these Lings have actually broken through here. We have 5 running amok inside StRyKER's base, and only now does the Spire finish. He only has drones to defend. And oh my god, if he loses the Spire again, I think it's just going to be GG.
Yeah, he is at least going to finish the sunken and it's going to defend the spire. So nice sunken placement there. And he doesn't lose any drones, so decent cycling. We're going to jump back on top of the spire, though. The drone's pulled away, and I think the spire is actually going to go down. And that's going to spell, I feel like, doom for StRyKeR here. Wow.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And now the other hatchery is getting eaten alive as well. The Muta is actually going straight across the map. We're going to try and attempt a base trade here, but the Spire has already finished here for Sziky. I think he's totally fine.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a window where StRyKeR can get some damage here. Yeah, we want to make sure we don't connect onto the Overlord, yeah. But these Scourge are going to finish right as the Muta show up, so maybe with some really good Muta micro, he can clean this up, but it's tough. A couple connections go down. Oh, a little bit unlucky for StRyKeR, actually. So the way it works, so those Scourge hit the Mutas when they popped, but if they don't die right away, they actually re-heal. So that first Muta tanked 3 or 4 Scourge. Wow. GG, gonna be called. Sziky gonna go up 2-0. Wow.
And a rough start there for StRyKeR. I mean, both games, he just basically rolled a build order loss and then couldn't deal with the extra amount of lings for Sziky. So I wonder if the next game we're going to try something like, we're just going to try like some kind of hatch first build or fast hatch, just so we can have enough lings to stay alive.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough when you're going down 2-0 and you've had 2 build order disadvantages, right, in a row. And then from there, it's tough because it's like now you have to be concerned. Like, it's hard when you're down 2-0 like this to not be thinking, well, what if my opponent does this? Then maybe I should do this. Oh, but if he does this, then I'm screwed here. Like, it's going to be really hard for StRyKeR not to get into his own head right now after these 2 games.
Yeah, that's always really difficult to do. Like, when you're in this sort of situation, it's just kind of like, well, you're in a bit of a corner where you have to make sure that you roll the correct like dice, right? Like, you don't have any more chances. But what exactly do you do? Like, you always want to be decisive as well. So if you get too much in your own head, that in and of itself is going to make you less decisive. And oh man, yeah, you just have to play it calm, right? Like, that's the only way to go. But it's of course really hard to do that.
Yeah, very, very tough. And
yeah,
it's a tough situation for StRyKeR with those build orders too, because it's like he essentially did the same thing as Sziky, but he's going to be down a couple drones, so Sziky's going to be able to make more lings, and it's like, well, do I cut more drones to make more lings so I don't die? But then you're just staying further and further behind on eco, so it feels really doomed for StRyKeR in that game.
Yeah, everything about that game just kind of went wrong for StRyKeR. Like, dude, more drones, more lings, and like your faster mutas aren't even going to do anything.
Yeah, the Spire timing from Sziky lined up pretty much perfect for defense.
Yeah. And even this time around, right? Like, the Spire was still too exposed. Like, it was like better placed than the last game, or maybe not better, but differently placed in the last game, but it just like didn't matter. Once the lings get into your base, it's just so hard to defend. You just have to keep them at the ramp. But if you have enough lings, there's like, what can you really do to prevent them from busting?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, maybe with some like refinement on SimCity or something, but yeah, it's hard to say. I still don't even know that really saves him, right? It at least maybe can save the Spire with better placement. This is kind of 2 games in a row where the Spire was exposed with no way of like drilling and protecting it properly, or even the way it's like kind of sitting out there, there's really not much like decreased surface area, right, for the lings to get on it.
I wonder if the way to go is to put the Spire where the pool was. So you remember the pool was placed like in between the minerals and the gas, like that, like kind of behind the sunken. Like, that seems like an ultra safe spot for you to put the Spire.
Yeah, there is some maps where you'll see the Spire gets tucked like behind the mineral line, right? I think where Sziky did it on Radion, I think he did something like that, where it's like kind of back behind the minerals, where it's like really, really closed off. I wasn't really paying attention to that map, so I don't know if maybe StRyKeR just had a better option or not. Or
I think if you spawn on the left side, like, okay, let's look at Knockout right now. That's the map that we're gonna play on next. I think if you spawn on the left hand side, you can put the Spire behind the minerals. But if you spawn on the right-hand side, it's a bit more difficult because the only spots that are available are like kind of at the top of the minerals or at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
All
not
right, looks
sure
like-
if Creep can actually reach past there.
Yeah. All right, guys, our players are ready, so we're going to hop into game 3 here between StRyKeR and Sziky here on Knockout.
A little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, spotting here in the top, or sorry, the bottom left, we have our blue Zerg Sziky, currently up 2-0.
And on the bottom right, the last hope for this American Zerg here in game number 3, it is StRyKeR.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. The last chance here for StRyKeR. It's tough because you're down 2-0 in a matchup that has a little bit of our graphic played guys now. Finally got there. We're good.
We got it right
yeah,
eventually.
it's a little bit hard being down 2-0 in a matchup like this. That's like really build order oriented like this, and then you have to reverse sweep. Like winning 3 games in a row in this matchup seems so. That's a tall ask of any player, I feel like.
Definitely. I think a bit of coping with the gambler's fallacy is in order here. Like, what are the chances that you get a build order disadvantage 3 games in a row? That can't possibly be, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there are ways of framing it and coping, you know? Like, as a StarCraft player, you need to be good at that.
Okay, so this will be a slight advantage here for StRyKeR. We're going to get 12 hatch versus 12 pool. So,
There we go.
yeah, so this will be the first time StRyKeR gets to enjoy a little bit of a build order advantage. So that'll be nice for him.
Call that gambler's law.
But yeah, to your point, you're talking about like the like how many times can it happen in a row, right? Sometimes like you get into a bit of a flow where you just like really feel like locked in on what your opponent's going to be thinking and feeling. A good example is like way back when I was like kind of first learning 1v1 stuff. I think it was my first CPL season. I was doing the like the tournament they had at the end for like the CPL players, and I was doing a best of 7. Yeah, and I had a best of 7 against Exit to finish the tournament off. And it was like, it was just one of those days, man, where just everything went perfect for me, and we got to enjoy some serious Terran tilt. Okay, whereas like I first scouted 4 games in a row. I had the perfect opening against what he was doing 4 games in a row. Like sometimes you just get locked in once you've like had those advantages a couple times, and you just keep getting it over and over again.
There's definitely like a logic to build orders that a lot of players follow subconsciously or consciously, right? Like if you go super like, if you play like macro games, the first 2 games, then it's like maybe the 3rd game you mix it up, right? Or like, I don't know. It really depends on the player, but there's definitely a logic to it, right? Where if you get, I don't know, like if I was StRyKeR, right? I might be thinking like, oh, maybe he would expect me to go for more lings this time because, you know, I went for less lings the other 2 times and it didn't work. So what if like he knows I'm going to try something different now and then he plays like assuming that I do that, right? Like it's so easy to get into that sort of mindset. But at the same time, if you don't think about it, right, like you could become too predictable. It's a really difficult mind game that these players have to go through.
Yeah, it seems pretty hard to navigate. But StRyKeR did at least manage to flip the odds a little bit, right? We had the build order advantage, and he also got first scout, whereas Sziky did not. And he should have more than enough production to defend against these lings. Although we got to be a little bit careful. That was kind of a free ling there from StRyKeR.
StRyKER's micro is so scary. Oh my god, he even gets a drone here. That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, StRyKER, man, he's showing like just how good of a player he is. Just like seeing that concave and being like, well, actually, if I go around, right, like I could maybe pick off like engage your concave from like a corner or something there. Look, even now he's trying to slip lings through, and 3 of them actually get through. Oh my god, they're all so low, but these 3 lings are so scary. They can kill like a drone instantly, basically. Oh my god, 3 shots away.
All right, so StRyKER managed to kill those lings off, and you know, Sziky did confirm the Spire timing. Sziky also made a defensive sunken at home. So StRyKeR is going to be kind of enjoying a little bit of a supply or a eco lead, even though Sziky did a really good job of picking off that drone. There's a lot of lings coming across the map here from StRyKeR.
Yeah, a giant conga line of red heading straight for Ziky's base. The sunken is very well placed, and there are a lot of lings back here, so it might be very difficult for StRyKeR to try and break through this. The Evo Chamber actually absorbing a ton of damage.
Yeah.
That might actually be enough to secure Ziky's victory there, but at the same time, back over here, he's not getting much damage either, except I spoke too soon because two lings actually came out of that
Wow.
in Ziky's favor.
This went so well for Sziky. How fast is Sziky, by the way? So StRyKeR was really focused on not taking damage at home. So these lings did get caught up in that Evo chamber. I think if that doesn't happen, StRyKeR actually potentially breaks through there a little bit and kind of at least make Sziky uncomfortable. But Sziky was microing on both ends. It seemed like really, really well. He defended that super well and had StRyKeR super focused on what was happening at home. This is going to allow Sziky to get his own Spire up and running while still kind of threatening the Ling aggression here. Sziky is so good at just being the aggressor in this matchup.
He plays such an aggressive game. Even though StRyKeR has his mutas out, right? Like, the pressure is just so intense, he can't afford to send them across the map. That is, of course, the advantage of having your mutas out early. But what? The one Ling in the mineral line is actually wrecking havoc. And at the same time, that hatchery is so low. Sziky is actually completely dominating this game.
Sziky is looking so clean in this game right now. And, you know, he's going to get chased off here, but that hatchery is going to go down. Sziky can go back home and defend now. StRyKeR has to make something happen now. I can't believe how well Sziky turned the situation around. That was so beautifully played.
Yeah, that was absolutely to see. Like, the Evo chamber, the focus on the micro on the other side of the map, right? The even in the beginning where he just like picked off some free units, basically like just through like very clever maneuvering and quick thinking. Like, I don't know, man. I'd be so demoralized as StRyKeR right now.
Yeah, he's gonna have to show some really good muta micro. A couple Scourge do connect though, and it looks like Sziky has more mutas here than StRyKeR does. And yeah, unfortunately, I think it's just not going to be enough for StRyKeR. Man, everything was going right for him this game, but then Sziky just kind of showed us here. He is in a class of his own. GG going to be called. Sziky going to take StRyKeR down 3-0. I am almost never impressed, okay, when I watch ZVZ. That was legitimately impressive. I really, really like respect that from Sziky.
Yeah, that last game, like the first two games were like, okay, well, he had the build order win, he had more lings, like what can you really do as StRyKeR, right? But in that last game, yeah, he was disadvantaged and he still managed to find a way to, you know, find damage with his lings, like take a fight with less units and beating like more units, right? Like just absolutely perfect micro and decision making just won him the game there, like despite any kind of build order loss.
Yeah, Sziky saying that he's bad at ZVZ is the most troll thing I've ever seen. Like, he made StRyKeR look like he doesn't belong in the arena with him, and StRyKeR is one of the best NA Zergs, period, so Sziky is just that good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and like, not only is he one of the best NA Zergs in the world, he's also one of the best foreign Zergs in the world, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, most people would actually place StRyKeR on, like, the same tier, if not, like, maybe half a tier below Sziky, but he just got completely dominated this series.
Yeah. Yeah, so with those results, it is going to knock StRyKeR down to the loser's bracket, and he will be awaiting the loser of Dewalt and Hawk and be fighting for his life there today, so... yeah, so coming up, we got Dewalt versus Hawk. Of course... We're going to have to say it's Dewalt favored. Hawk quite often talks about how is a part-timer supposed to beat a full-timer like Dewalt. But...
he has a point, right? Like, like you play so much more. You have so much more opportunity, so much more practice. So you're just like so much more familiar with the game, just like having that extra time. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to see, right? Like, there's obviously ways You could pull out something cheesy. You can put on some pressure, make your opponent uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if you just have as much experience with the game as Dewalt does, it's really tough to figure out something that he hasn't seen yet.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough. That's actually a really good point. He's going to pretty much see anything that you're going to throw at him, right? And he should have a pretty good idea of how to handle any kind of variation that Hawk might bring out. So we'll see how Hawk wants to play this series out. Unfortunately for Hawk, he hangs out with us, and we're like 99% Terran players in the Discord he hangs out with, so he has zero ZVP practice. And he spends a lot of time off racing playing with us. Like, he'll do TVPs and PVTs and stuff. He almost never plays Zerg, so I don't even know how good a shape he's really in for his ZVP right now. Obviously, it's hard for me not to root for the underdog. And of course, since Hawk, does hang out with us, he's also a bit of a friend, so I'll try not to be too biased in my cast, but it's probably going to come out. I tend to be openly biased. I can't help it.
Yeah, we all love Hawk here, and he is, of course, the underdog, but Dewalt is such like a scary player.
Yeah.
Especially since he goes for such like a macro-oriented style, right? It's very hard to poke holes in it if you just play perfectly. But it looks like we are going to go into a bit of a break before our next game. I think for how long? 5 minutes?
Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, the players just need a little bit of time to get set up here. So
yeah, so we can take a 5-minute break here, guys, and then we will come right back with more.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to be hopping into the series pretty soon here. We got Dewalt versus Hawk coming up. And yeah, like we were saying, it's hard not to say that Dewalt's going to be pretty favored in this one. Hawk's definitely got his work cut out for him. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're going to have to see if Hawk can pull out something weird enough that would really, truly catch Dewalt off guard. But the way Dewalt plays, right, like, he goes for like very standard, very safe, very like high skill ceiling, oriented plays, right? And those are just like the kind of plays where if you play it perfectly, you don't make any mistakes, then it's kind of unbeatable, right?
Yeah. Players like
Like,
Dewalt and Bonneth both are like that, right? They're very hard to play against because the issue is that you know what they're going to do, and it doesn't matter that you know what they're going to do. It's such a like wall to run into. Yeah, here we got the picks and bans. So the ban's going to be Roaring Currents from Dewalt and Litmus from Hawk. And because Dewalt was the higher ranked player in the kind of the ladder ranking, is going to get first pick. So his first pick was going to be Radion. Then we got Knockout from Hawk, Dominator from Dewalt, and Metropolis from Hawk. Pretty standard map pool, kind of the two weird maps kind of taken out of the equation.
yeah, a little bit odd that we didn't try to pick any of the weird maps as Hawk here, but I wonder if it's just because Litmus is not good for Zerg versus Protoss. I always imagined that Litmus would be good for Zerg because of the extra gas in your main. You can get your gas faster, you can get more mutas quicker. Like, Zerg, of course, loves their gas heavy units, but I guess against Protoss, that's not as much of an issue because you can just go mass Hydra.
Yeah, you're usually not going like really gas heavy in ZVP, and it's actually one of the scary parts for Zerg and ZVP is when Protoss gets access to those 3 gas, right? Because then they can kind of go mass Goon Templar. And yeah, I think it actually makes sense for Zerg not want to play on that map because it does feel like if it gets into a standard game state, it's just that Protoss is guaranteed to have that super scary death ball.
Yeah, I guess the gas units for Protoss in that matchup are a lot scarier than the gas units for Zerg, at least compared to the other 2 Zerg matchups. But okay, we banned Litmus. We're going to mostly be playing on standard maps. I would say probably the least standard of these is going to be either Metropolis or Dominator. I think Dominator could actually be good for Zerg if we're going to try and like play like a long game. Then we have all the pizza slices to sit our lurkers on, and it might be safer to take the map with that.
Yeah. All right, guys, looks like our players have hopped into the game here, so we're going to get Hawk versus Dewalt here on Radeon for game 1. And spawning here in the bottom right corner, we have our Russian Protoss Dewalt.
And on the bottom left, our second American Zerg of the day, it is Hawk.
I think, is this the last representation for the US? I think it is. Yeah, it is. So everything lying here on Hawk. And then I guess we're guaranteed to get an American Zerg out, since if Hawk loses this, he plays against StRyKeR next. So
Yeah.
we at least get to continue with our American Zergs one way or another.
Yeah, although it is a little sad that if Hawk loses this, we're gonna have to go for a American Zerg elimination match.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I like this. This is just like I'm rooting for Hawk, but this the mountain is very high to climb.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
tough.
We are opening pool first. Okay, pool first is standard if we're doing overpool. I just got excited there because I thought it was a 9 pool for a second.
Yeah, gonna open with that overpool. Gonna be first guy at 2, which is actually super annoying for Hawk because it makes it very annoying trying to get the hatchery down now. Not what you want to run into. So already a little bit of a hiccup here for Hawk to start us off. Actually pulling 3 drones seems like a bit of an odd reaction from Hawk.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a panic move, but he does correct it very quickly, and it looks like we are going to scout the forge, and we're getting prepared to take double hatcheries.
Yeah, we're gonna see that 13-13 from Dewalt. Just kind of the most optimized opening you can do if you're doing forge expand here against overpool. And yeah, everything gonna look pretty normal to start. The hatchery didn't get delayed by the probe very long, actually, it seems like. So good job by Hawk getting that hatchery down. That's good for him. Because a lot of times you're almost forced to take your third location for your second hatchery, and that just kind of feels meh because it's both. If they're opening zealots, it's hard to defend, and then also just the drone transfers, right, being really far away.
So it looks like Hawk is trying to take the top left, the other main, instead of the usual third location you see. So this could be interesting. I sort of wonder if Hawk is going to try and like fool his opponent by taking his third normally and making it seem like he's just playing standard when he's playing super greedy, or if he's going to fool him by having him scout that there is no third. I don't know. I can't really think of any other reason why you would take that base over this one.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd almost want him. We sent the drone out to our third location. Okay,
Wait, where's
he's just
it
gonna
going?
go. I think he's just gonna go top left with it to mine. Is that what we're doing?
All right, Hawk is cooking something. Like I can't tell exactly what he's trying to do, but something is happening here. Dewalt gonna come over here, see that there is no third base, and I wonder if he's going to overreact a little. I mean, we're kind of expecting as Dewalt, our opponent, to do something a little bit off meta. And if this is going to prompt an overreaction from him, this could be really good for Hawk. We're actually double, so we have 2 hatcheries building on the top left-hand side.
Wait, Dewalt's gonna scout.
What am I looking at?
So I was gonna say it's really unfortunate that Hawk allowed Dewalt to get the scout onto that third base location, and now Dewalt's going top left. He's actually gonna find these 2 hatcheries, so this isn't even gonna work out for Hawk.
No. Oh no! He turns back. He turns around.
Okay. Well, I guess it's gonna work out still a little bit. So Dewalt probably a little bit confused, for sure. I think he was thinking it might be like going for Turtle Zerg, because sometimes they'll take that third hatchery in a natural. And then go for like that turtle style, right? So he might have been thinking that's what Hawk was going for, so he only checked the natural.
I think it's also possible that just judging from the position of the lings, right? He knew that he wasn't going to get the probe in, so he's just gonna sit here and assume that he took that base.
So Dewalt's getting a lot of he's getting a lot of scouting information by not seeing things, right? So now he knows 100% that there are hatcheries out on the map somewhere.
I cannot believe he got a drone with the 1 zealot that comes in.
And we're gonna get the overlord early.
Yeah, so far everything is sort of coming up Dewalt. And I'm pretty sure he has a very strong suspicion that top left is taken.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if he doesn't know exactly where it's at on the map, he knows there's something out there somewhere, right? Like there just has to be
Yeah.
at this point. When he scouted the main, he saw no lair and everything. Man, Hawk is making so many hatcheries so early. There's no Hydra Den. We've done like minimal gas mining. He is a believer of the larva resource right now.
For sure. I wonder if he's gonna go for some kind of like 5-hatch Hydra timing. I know that is really popular to do, especially among like the lower leagues, because it's one of those game plans that it doesn't require a lot of like really precise micro or really like really complicated decision making.
Yeah, I am really curious to see where Hawk goes with this. We see Dewalt still trying to scout around to look for these hatcheries. You can kind of tell the confusion. What? We opened a scout.
What? We went scout? All right, Hawk has to win this. If Hawk doesn't win this, he has mentally lost the entire series already.
But you know what's funny? We went for the Spore and stacked all our Overlords. Scout is unironically like infinitely better than a Corsair here.
I mean, there's not a whole lot you can accomplish with a Corsair, but with this scout, we're harassing a lot of these drones. Like 3 of them have already basically ceased mining. Oh my god. Are we gonna... No, okay, no. We're not gonna get in.
Yeah, Hawk did a good job of cycling his drones at least so it doesn't take any losses. We have a DT out on the field. Do we have an Overlord? We probably have like no protection top left at all, right? And the scout's going to start scouting, no pun intended, the entire map. So it should go from, I'd imagine, after he scouts the base here, he's going to just kind of go down the sides of the map and find wherever this hatchery is.
Okay, there's no way this DT is getting in with a Spore and 5 Okay, well, you know, Caster's Curse, what can you do, right? Like, the DT slips in, and this is actually a complete fiasco here for Hawk. Already 2 drones going down. The Overlords are slow, and they're all clumped at the Spore. He's even attacking the larva here. But yeah, just stopping that base from mining entirely is so good for Protoss. We might even get the spawning pool. That would be insane. If we get the spawning pool, it might as well be game over. I cannot believe that Scout also escapes with 14 HP. Like, oh my god, Dewalt.
Wow. And the DT running around the base being super annoying for Hawk as well. It's so unfortunate for Hawk because I feel like this game was actually going really well for him. He has such a high drone count here in the top left. It's crazy. But yeah, this DT slipping in and getting some damage really, really sucks. I mean, honestly, he still is pretty good in supply. Yeah, that's just kind of the thing, right? Like, it's actually still fine for him, but it could have been amazing for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly. I think Dewalt is, I think he's doing a little bit of trolling here, and he's not really seeing any success with it. So there's a very real chance that Hawk could take this game just playing it
out. I don't know. I don't think I'd call a scout trolling. I think it legitimately has some value. It didn't really pay off exactly, but like the Corsair had no value potential here. And I've seen some players like G5 and stuff really likes to do scout openers and stuff, and I've seen a lot of success with it. I think the only issue, I guess, is that scouts are so expensive, right? You're essentially paying for
like, what was it? 275 minerals, 125 gas.
Yes. Yeah, like, that's it.
They basically cost twice the amount of minerals as a Corsair, and they basically didn't get that much more damage done in comparison. Yeah, they like the Scout managed to kill 1 Overlord, which is what you would expect a Corsair to be able to do, and they like damaged a bunch of drones and stopped them from mining for a bit. But okay, we're actually going to do a big attack here as Dewalt. We have a lot of Templar and a lot of Storm. We actually, all of our Overlords are slow and clumped up. If we kill all of these Overlords, we could be supply blocked for ages, but that might that might not even matter because our army supply as Hawk is so low here. We have a bunch of Hydras coming up from the north, but there are just so many storms here. I think Hawk might just barely be able to clean this up with reinforcements. But
Yeah.
I don't know, Dewalt has reinforcements of his own. He is forced to pull back, but he might come in right when these Zealots arrive.
Yeah, a couple of those high tempo are getting really low, but not quite getting finished off. Yeah, one downside, the scout's up to 5 kills now, by the way. Just saying. Just gonna point that out. Scout is only gonna go down. Part of the issue that Hawk's having right now is that his reinforcements, he has 3 hatcheries on the other side of the map, right? So his Hydras have so far to go to join the fight. And the damage that Dewalt's getting done here is pretty big. He's trading really well, killed a handful of drones. Like I said, that scout got another like 3 or 4 drones in the main as well. We see a big zealot rally here coming across, and it looks like Dewalt's going to be able to barely break through here. I liked the creativity from Hawk. I really kind of saw where he was going with it. I saw some potential, but not going to work out for him. GG. Going to be called. Dewalt going to start us off 1-0.
That is that's a tough first game for sure. I mean, man, first of all, opening scout, right? Like, I've basically never seen that. Like, I've seen it like maybe a couple times, but almost never in any like really high level gameplay. And honestly, I don't think the scout like did a whole lot compared to like what a Corsair would normally do. And I think that makes sense given like the fact that it's there's definitely a reason why people don't make that unit. But it definitely put on a lot of pressure. And we saw it just kind of in the last couple moments once Hawk got really distracted, like you could go back in and start killing drones with it. But I think it was the DT that really did a lot of damage. Just like having all of your overlords and a spore like in the front of your base, right? And the DT manages to slip in anyway. That's really rough. That's really...
Yeah, pretty painful. All right, well, looks like the next map is going to be Knockout. Looks like this is going to be Hawk's pick. I'm surprised that Dewalt is actually the one to pick Dominator, because Dominator is pretty historically ZVP favored if you get the late game, but it might just be that Hawk doesn't even want to try to play a late game against Dewalt, right? Because that is going to be where Dewalt's really strong as well. I mean, Dewalt's strong the whole way through the game. That's part of the main issue that we're having. Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that we're going to see Dewalt? There's no way, right? Like, okay, what I was thinking is, so in Dominator, you have the high ground natural, right? And that makes 2-gate an especially like, an especially scary choice for Protoss. But I don't think I've ever seen, have you ever seen Dewalt go 2-gate?
And in PvZ, no. No, I wouldn't.
I feel like I personally like haven't seen really all that much cheese or super early game aggression out of Dewalt. So apart from that, I don't really know what advantage Dominator would have over something like Metropolis or Star.
Yeah, hard to say. Maybe he'll show us when we get to that game, but looks like our players are ready, so we're going to hop into the second game here. Going to be Dewalt versus Hawk on Knockout. Spawning here in the top left. Currently down 0-1. We have our blue American Zerg Hawk.
And on the bottom left, it is our red Protoss from Russia. It is Dewalt. Dewalt, possibly the greatest foreigner of all time, doesn't even need to participate in the North American lands because he goes to China and wins a ton of money over there, apparently.
Yeah, he's definitely at kind of a level of his own.
Still not quite good enough to compete with the top Koreans, but he definitely plays in the what was it, the ASL qualifiers, the challengers, like all of these tournaments that are like pre-ASL but not quite ASL.
Yeah, the qualifiers for ASL. It's really crazy the level of players. Like for us here in the foreign scene, it's like we have players like Mihu, Dewalt, even Boneth, right? Where it's just like it feels like we can't even like begin to comprehend to compete on their level a lot of times. And you got people that are that good that go over to Korea to play in the qualifiers and they get absolutely blasted by the guys that don't even qualify. So it's just like, man, there really are some crazy levels to this game.
Yeah, the skill differential is actually crazy. Like we're like that last game, we literally saw like Dewalt completely like run over Hawk with just like really, really good micro.
Yeah.
And if you watch like Dewalt play like a top Korean, it's like flipped, right? Like the Korean will just be playing like circles around him, and it's like how is that even possible? I watched Dewalt completely dominate in the other game. How could this be?
Well, exactly, right. That's really a good way of putting it into perspective. Is like, I'm kind of like mid A-ish, right? And when I play against Hawk, I get bullied the same way that Dewalt's bullying Hawk. And then Hawk turns around and gets bullied by the Koreans the same way. So it's just like, man, it really puts into perspective how far away I am from anything relevant.
I guess that's just the difference, right? Between someone who plays like full-time versus part-time versus hobby versus like more than full-time. Because I know a lot of these pros just like their entire existence is playing StarCraft.
Yeah. It's the time, but then also just kind of the talent, right? The raw talent that is required for a game like this is also... Look, anybody that tells you that StarCraft's not a sport is lying to you. You have to be some kind of an athlete to participate at the highest levels in this game. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I mean, if you got like 100 different players playing this like for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, like... it's the talent that separates the cream from the crop, right? Like there's no other way, really. Like there's only so much you can do with just pure time and practice.
Hawk's going for the same thing again, by the way. This top right hatchery, and he's sending a second drone to build a second hatchery there. Man, he lets the probe in again. Hawk, come on. We had plenty of lings to stop this from happening this time.
Dude, is it like... Does Dewalt just like micro the probe in like a really specific way that allows him to get in, right? Because like I'll play against like a C rank player and my scout never gets into the main. Like what is he doing differently? Like I can't even tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'd imagine with what happened last game, Dewalt will probably sniff out the hatchery a lot easier this time. He may even already think that it's up there. He can't really go check at this point, or doesn't really even need to, I guess. But he might be aware now. Okay, I like this wall. I like it when Protoss does this wall. I unironically think this is very efficient.
Like, what is so special about it? Like, it has 3 holes, so I feel like it doesn't even look that good to begin with.
So I like it when you do gate opener because it doesn't matter that there's a lot of extra holes, right? Because you just have the higher zealot count. And what it allows you to do is both your Forge and CyberCore are completely safe from Hydras.
Right. So if
other than
Hawk tries some kind of like, like 973, or even if he just like goes for later Hydras, you basically never have to be worried about your +1 getting destroyed before it can finish or something like that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about your +1. You don't have to worry about losing your CyberCore. So if you want to go +1 Ser or get your Citadel or whatever, like. You don't have to worry about any sort of pressure, but the downside is, of course, that it is more vulnerable to Ling Flood. But again, that's why I kind of like it with the gate expand, because you just have those extra zealots to plug it with.
I feel like there was possibly an opportunity there to slip some lings in and get some damage, but of course these lings are slow, and with 5 zealots across the map, or coming across the map, it's very risky to stack all your lings like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Zealot getting into a pretty good position. Going to rejoin his brethren here and start to threaten the ramp. We're going to see a drone drill here from Hawk. See a bunch of lings coming from that top right base as well. Going to get a pretty good surround on these lings. Or sorry, on these Zealots. Going to catch 3 of them pretty well. Man, Hawk made so many lings. He's going to clean this up without taking any damage. Of course, you have, the drone loss, if you want to call it that, from... one drone actually goes down from making all these lings. But it's better to have a bunch of extra lings left over after clearing the zealots than taking really any damage or anything, right? So the thing that's nice for Hawk is he cleans this up. He's gonna have all these things left over, and he doesn't really need to make more lings. He does need to worry about, is this a zealot or probe? Okay, it's just gonna be a scouting probe, so that's fine. But he can pretty much just drone very healthily now, like very happily after cleaning up those zealots.
Yeah, that was 5 zealots, so a pretty committed move to try and put pressure onto the Zerg here, and it certainly paid off in the way that it forced Hawk to make a ton of lings, like a metric ton. But in terms of damage, it didn't really do a whole lot at all. So yeah, I agree with you. Hawk seems to be in a very strong position this time around. Dewalt does in fact see the double hatchery, but the very fact that Hawk did this 2 games in a row kind of signals to me that it's not supposed to be anything sneaky. This is just a part of his game plan, right? And whether you scout it or not, like, it doesn't really matter to him. Obviously, things being unscouted is always better, but of course, I think Hawk has planned for this.
Yeah, I think he kind of felt the same way that we felt with that last game, where it's like the game was going really well for him, but then a few, kind of mistakes that were very avoidable were made. So he probably just feels like he wants to do it again, but kind of cleaned it up, right? And I mean, we see it's kind of cool the way he does this double hatchery up here, because it allows him to fully saturate it without having to worry about any drone transfers or anything. So he can saturate it like very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very smart move and a smart way to make this work, because obviously one of the weaknesses of having your third base so far away is that whenever you transfer workers over, there's like a lot of opportunity for your opponent to come in and intercept. So very smart move here from Hawk. This is clearly a build that he's practiced quite a number of times in the past. We are going to catch one of the zealots here. That's actually very good. A good small victory here for Hawk. And we do manage to see that there are a lot of zealots out. So we're expecting something big to come out of the Protoss space soon.
Yeah, this is going to be a very scary zealot flood. Like 1 or 2 more rounds of those zealots, and we are dealing with a ton of zealots, right? Saturation for Hawk's natural is a little bit light right now. He is pumping hydras in the top right base. And I'm just worried about getting into another similar situation where it's like he has enough to defend in theory, but his base is so far away that his units can't get there quick enough. And he's actually going to miss the move out with these lings.
Completely miss this move out? Okay, no, we see that we barely catch the tail end of it, but it might be a little bit late. Those couple seconds could actually spell doom for Hawk here. These zealots are actually rushing in here. We have one sunken already finished, a second on the way, a second group of zealots kind of coming in a lot slower. But I don't know if Hawk has nearly enough defense to not die here. The drones are being pulled as well. We're taking a lot of economic damage. Both Sunkens die, and Hawk just calls it. It's over.
Yeah, not the greatest SimCity from Hawk, if you can even call it a SimCity. He just kind of had 2 bear Sunkens sitting out there. And then, like I said, we had all those Hydras top right, but they don't even move to join the fight, right? They wouldn't even make it in time. So that is kind of a weakness that I'm seeing of this build. It seems really fun and cool in theory, but the bases kind of have to defend themselves on their own. And it's a little bit hard when your opponent makes 1 Corsair into like 4,000 zealots. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I think it's possible that Dewalt, he basically found the counter to the build, right? Like well, if you have your production basically split in half, or 2/3 or 2/5 and 3/5, right? Like, how are you going to get your Hydras in time to defend your top left base if I like speed sprint all of my fast zealots over there? Like, what can you really do?
Yeah, it's tough. Outside of like kind of a perfect SimCity, it seems really, really hard. But Dewalt going up 2-0. Next is going to be Dewalt's map pick as well, Dominator. And I don't imagine we can go for this kind of double hatchery in a different main on this map.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of a tall order.
Yeah, but looks like our players are ready. We're going to hop into game 3 here on Dominator. Hawk versus Dewalt. And spawning here in the 3 o'clock position, currently down 0-2, a tall order ahead of him. Gonna have to win 3 in a row. We have the Hawk.
And at the 7 o'clock position, our beast of a Protoss, it is Dewalt.
Imagine you're living in a scenario where someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want you to play Dewalt, and you have to beat him 3 times without dropping a single game." How's that sound?
Okay. What? What's the catch? I just say no, right? Like that's not happening. I think the list of people who can beat Dewalt 3 games in a row without dropping a single map, I could probably count on my fingers.
Yeah, outside of ASL players, it's
outside of ASL at least. Maybe all the ASL
pretty
players
tough.
can easily do that. Outside of that, it's like who?
Yeah.
Bishop?
So yeah.
Probably.
So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough for Hawk. I'm curious to see what he tries to do for this map. If he tries this build again. You know, now that we've seen these first 2 games, the way Hawk's been doing his build, I actually see why he might have been wanting to do a lot of like the normal 4-player maps, because it seems like he wanted to pick all the maps that allow him to try this strategy, right? Because there was the Limits and Roaring Currents ban, and then he didn't pick Dominator, right? So I think he was just leaning pretty heavily into this like double hatchery and a different main build.
I think you definitely can still do double hatchery again. Like, excuse me, on Dominator. But because of the high ground control, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are we cannon rushing? What's going on?
Looks like we are going to go for a cannon rush. It typically doesn't work very well in this map because, like, it's a nice little pocket for the cannon, but you kind of have that mineral, that opening there below it. And you can't really stop the drones from hopping over.
I mean, that's
so
exactly
it's not
what we're seeing him do here. Oh, what?
A little bit unlucky.
We had it! Oh, this might be rough for Jziriy here. We're going to try that one more time, maybe?
Oh, a little bit of a variation here with the low ground. Wait, is Hawk going to give up on bouncing over? And now it's blocked off by this cannon, so I'm surprised Hawk just gave up on jumping over. Maybe it was too late at that point. This is not good for Hawk. This is actually going to work.
I'm really surprised he didn't just flat cancel that hatchery, because now it's going to be under attack from this cannon here. Oh, I guess the other tool we have to defend Cannon Rush is the sunken range glitch bug exploit.
Yeah, and that's what he's going to be going for. There should be some lings being made here, so yeah, he's just going to try to defend it like this. It's definitely an option. But it's going to be 3 cannons coming up. Although Sunkens do really, really well against cannons, honestly. Yeah, I'm just going to cancel the 2 cannons. And yeah, so the glitch should be working here for Hawk. Outside of some bad luck, he's going to be able to clean this up relatively well. So it's not really that bad for Hawk at the end of the day, I think. I mean, it's hard for me to say. I'm not a Zerg player. So maybe a Zerg player could tell me better if this is okay or not. But I would think this is fine for Zerg.
Yeah, Dewalt, I feel like he put a lot in Rush, right? That was 2, maybe 3 canceled cannons, plus pylon, plus an actual cannon, right? That's like...
Yeah.
I've already lost track of how many minerals that is, but it was definitely a lot. And Jziriy didn't actually take that much damage. I was getting pretty concerned that the hatchery was going to go down, but we saved the hatch, right? And we didn't lose any lings. And we pretty much didn't lose any drones either. We lost some mining time, but most of our drones are alive from that. I feel like I don't even think he lost 1.
Yeah, he didn't lose any drones, I don't believe. Yeah, his economy actually looks pretty healthy. And the other thing, too, is what we're seeing from Dewalt. He has to respect how many lings are out, so he has to go for the second cannon and do a little bit of a wall here with the probes while he waits for that cannon. So there is also kind of that lingering additional damage right done from Hawk. There is a bit of a supply block from him, which does kind of suck for him, ruins his tempo just a little bit here. But yeah, I would say here when the dust settles, it's looking pretty good for Hawk so far. Straight to 4 hatchery before gas.
4 hatch before gas. That seems kind of greedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very eco-leaning, right? I guess after this opener, you're not really worried about any zealots or anything like that. So I think being like super greedy, we're gonna go 5 hatch. Yeah, we're gonna go
5 before gas.
So we're going super heavy on the eco, and then we're going to take our gas. So I wonder if he's going to go for kind of a really heavy Hydra timing, or if he just wants to lean into a later game with just a big eco advantage.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but we're going to have to find out. I feel like Hawk, just judging from the last 2 games, he seems to be a Hydra player. And just getting the 5 hatcheries really early and droning up super early, I think would allow him to get a much better Hydra timing. In fact, getting a 6th hatchery now. So I feel like this is pointing towards some kind of Hydra all-in or mass Hydra play.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on what Hawk wants to do here with this advantage. Here comes the Hydra Den now. And, I mean, he has access to so much larva. He can pump drones. He can pump so many drones. I mean, that's what we see, right? It's just drone. The Hydra Den finally come down, second gas coming up. So I'm going to start those Hydra upgrades probably as soon as the Hydra Den finishes, while we get our eco super strong. And I think, honestly, with how this game's gone, I would love to see him just go really heavy into a Hydra timing, maybe. But at the same time, it's like when I think of Dewalt, is he ever breakable with Hydras? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, in that first game, we saw that he made he didn't make a whole lot of units, but he had a ton of Templar, right? And his storms were absolutely devastating. If we really lean into this kind of Hydra-based gameplay, I'm kind of afraid Dewalt is just going to storm it to death.
Yeah. Of course, they're going to get one Overlord. I'm going to scout over here and see this hatchery count, and that is pretty scary looking, actually.
Yeah, you come in here. Also, these hatcheries are perfectly aligned, like it's like a fast map game or something.
Yeah.
it's kind of aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But yeah, I mean, if you're Dewalt and you spot 4 hatcheries, you should know exactly what's going on. There's no way you go 6 total hatcheries, but what you're actually trying to do is go Muta.
Yeah. Yeah, another Overlord went down, so Hawk once again going to be supply blocked. He has so much unused larva.
What is he waiting for? Oh, he's waiting
Overlords.
to not be supply.
Yeah. All right, gonna use up.
The other
some
thing
of
about
those,
having 4 hatcheries in the same screen is you control click one of the larvae and it's perfectly 12 larvae.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm a little worried for Hawk because our main and third is not fully saturated, especially his third, and his natural may be slightly oversaturated, so he can't really afford to use all the larvae. Okay, well, we're gonna be saturated now, so it should be all Hydras from here, I'd imagine.
Where are the drones going?
Wait, all going to the main? Really?
Yeah, I was expecting them to basically all go to the third.
Okay,
because the third is
split them up.
so little units.
Ah, we don't have an Overlord here.
We don't have any detection!
Oh, no.
Oh, Dewalt immediately going to town. Oh, the Overlord pops up right now, but not before 4 drones already going down. So this is already a very good start for Dewalt, and Dewalt actually taking a 3rd base. So obviously after you see 6 hatcheries being made, you're like, okay, they're going to try and do something aggressive in the mid game. I'm just going to take a 3rd and basically just say, come at me, bro. You want to fight? I'll turtle up on 3 bases, and if you can't break me, you lose.
Yeah, it's pretty ballsy taking it this early, but I guess he saw that the lair was pretty late, so there's no Overlord speed for a while. So the DT should actually be, in theory, enough to defend for a little bit. We're going to see more creep colonies actually coming down for Hawk. He's being surprisingly defensive. Well, I guess he doesn't have any information, so maybe it's not that surprising. He doesn't know what Dewalt's doing at all. He knows that he's getting full scouted constantly, so maybe a little bit nervous about what Dewalt might be doing. He's going to be pretty disappointed, I think, when he finds out that Dewalt took a quick third.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the weakness, one of the weaknesses to this style of play, right? One of the strong suits of going for a fast Spire, you get the Scourge out really quickly, you get Mutas out, you're able to basically see completely what Protoss is doing. But if you go for 5-6 hatch Hydra style, you're kind of playing blind a lot of the times, right? You can use Lings to keep track of the Protoss's expansion pattern, but as Hawk, we didn't even really do that. So we don't really know what's happening, and we're only going to find out now that 12 Hydras are crossing. And I am also surprised that Hawk is continuing to drone. I actually thought at some point he's going to stop and just start pumping Hydras to go for some kind of timing, but it doesn't seem to be the case here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think any potential window that we might have had for timing has closed because we do have a lot of Storm energy now. And we'll see what Hawk wants to do to transition out of this, if we just end up taking our 4th pretty soon, or I'm not really sure what the game plan is just yet. We do see some lurkers on the way.
Yeah, it could be that he's gonna go for a late game style, but he wanted to play like a super safe, like let's make sure we actually get to a late game. But I'm a little bit skeptical about this plan because I feel like Dewalt is probably one of the best like late game PvZ players that are out there, right? Like how are we supposed to compete against this, even with like an economic advantage? Well, hold on, we have a ton of units and they're all barreling down the left side of the map here. I think Hawk is going to try and put his foot on the gas and get something done here. We have quite a number of Hydras, but only one Overlord, so the DT managed to get a couple like cheeky shots into damage this army before.
Yeah, it's kind of distracting for Hawk trying to find this DT and figure it out, but DT is going to go to the 6 o'clock spawn and find it pretty quick. We are going to be able to corner and kill that DT, so a minor victory, I guess, but a little worried about, you know, Dewalt's kind of army explosion here. He's getting to that really scary supply. He's been on 3 guys for a pretty good bit now, and we're going to have a lot of Storm end goons to deal with. We're going to have this high ground defensive setup at least for Hawk, but that is a lot of
doesn't seem to set it up in
Protoss.
time. Protoss actually comes in here and takes the high ground really quickly, and really good storms are going to soften up this army. Hawk is actually forced to retreat basically immediately, and his army count has already been reduced by so much. I fear that Dewalt could just like end the game with an A move.
Yeah, that I don't even know if you can call it a trade. That fight went so well for Dewalt. He's up 60 supply right now. He's retained this death ball. He still has some storms left over as well. He's going to be able to break this 6 o'clock position. I don't really see a way for Hawk to defend it. We see a huge stream of red coming across the map. And guys, it's not a good sign when the Protoss line is bigger than the Zerg line.
That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. But here we're trying to. Oh my god! And Hawk is also going to lose a whole bunch of Hydras here with a pathing error from these Hydras here. We're going to go for like a big surround on this army, attacking from 3 different angles. The Lurker is going to try and move up and burrow, but Protoss wisely retreating back to his high ground here. Even though we have a good concave, the Protoss does in fact have the high ground, and more reinforcements are coming on from the left side. The Zerg army getting completely devastated.
Yeah, Dewalt did such a good job of fighting away from the Lurkers, right, until it was time to go back into the Lurkers. Really, really nice kind of backwards fighting onto this pizza slice here for Dewalt. Going to take another fantastic trade, and we see the supply lead just growing more and more in favor of Protoss. The 4th base was denied here. Another 4th base did go up for Hawk in the meantime, but yeah, Dewalt's army size hasn't changed since the fighting started.
His supply count remained the same, while Zerg has completely plummeted down to 84 out of 151. Even as we continue to fight here, like, I don't know, the Zerg just doesn't have the strength to really be able to trade efficiently against this, even without the abundant storm that we used to have. Good snipe on that Templar, but at this point, Protoss just has enough to A-move without using any kind of spells or doing anything fancy.
Yeah, even though Protoss has run out of Storm, his army is just so much bigger that he can keep fighting. His upgrades are a little bit light. I think he's just 1-1 right now, so he's not super strong upgrade-wise, but he just has such a big army that it doesn't really matter. The Hydra's actually at +2, so they're doing decent damage. I mean, the Hydras are trading as well as you could hope for, but here we go. A couple of Storms are going to join the fight, push these Hydras back just a little bit more. This is going to give us access to this 4th base. We see him chipping away at it while taking his own 4th base, and not only is Dewalt's army bigger, but his eco is going to be bigger, and it's just not looking good for Hawk.
Yeah, this is definitely rough. Now that we have Templar here as well, like how's the Zerg ever supposed to fight into this? The choke point is also on the Zerg side as well. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing that Hawk can do at this point.
Yeah, Hawk getting pushed all the way back into his main base. I suspect we're going to see that GG pretty soon. Dewalt just going to keep leaning on Hawk until he basically dies at this point. And GG going to be called. Dewalt going to take a 3-0. not an unexpected result, but an undesired result.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Hawk pull out like a cheeky win here or there, but unfortunately, if you're matched up against Dewalt, like there's not a whole lot you can do. What are you supposed to do? Like, he's just good at everything.
Yeah, really no weakness shown from Dewalt in this series at all. It really just looked like, Hawk tried some pretty creative approaches to ZVP that I definitely haven't seen before. And again, it's one of those things where, maybe it works against a lot lesser players, but Dewalt made it look like a terrible, terrible idea. But I just think there's such a gap in skill between Dewalt and most players that no matter what Hawk did, it was going to look like a bad idea. Doesn't necessarily mean it was. I think Dewalt's just that good. But yeah, as we see,
I could totally see this working in like other circumstances, right? Like this, even like this last game, right, where he went for a ton of units, right? And Dewalt even going for the greedy play, getting the third base up really quickly. But I don't know. Most players just won't have the amount of units that Dewalt has. They won't have the control that he has. They won't have like the game sense that Dewalt has, or the micro to just be able to have the one DT be able to scout like Hawk's entire army movement and pick off units at the same time, right? Like he just did everything so well, right? Like it doesn't really matter like what kind of play style Hawk went for, like when your opponent just executes the counter perfectly every time, right? Like, what's there to be done?
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about earlier about how Dewalt, has seen everything. He probably hasn't seen what Hawk did before. I'd imagine not, right? But he just has so much game understanding and game experience that he's able to adapt and kind of counter what he was looking at relatively quickly. I think his adjustment to that second game really showed like kind of the level that he functions at, where it's like the first game, it's like, oh, okay, this could have gone really well for Hawk with a few fixes, a couple things, right? And then the second game, he does the same thing and Dewalt just mowed it over, right? So really nice awareness and understanding from Dewalt to kind of adjust to that. So both of our American Zergs going to lose their first match, going to go down to that loser's bracket. So we're going to have StRyKeR and Hawk going to be battling it out to see who continues in the BSL.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that the two American Zergs have to go against each other. But I'm pretty excited to see the last game of the series, best of 3 between StRyKeR and Hawk. I think StRyKeR is definitely the favorite here, but because it is ZVZ, right? Like the normal skill set sometimes does not apply, or does not apply nearly as much as in here. So I feel like we could easily see Hawk take the series, especially since it's best of 3.
I can continue if the players are going to be ready, but up to you.
Yeah, it seems like the players need a bit of time to get ready, so we're going to go into another 5-minute break before we proceed into the final series of the day.
Sounds good. All right. Welcome back. Guys, we're going to be hopping into our loser bracket match here pretty soon. We're going to get another ZVZ for you guys because, as most of you are aware of, we have no Terrans. The only Terran representation today is actually going to be me and RiceHat.
Yeah, it's the casters. Terran is a casting race, okay?
Yeah, that's all we've been relegated to casters, not players at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't know, man. Terran is just underpowered. Isn't that right?
It's the only explanation. We're the weaker race. It's definitely not a skill issue.
No way. No. But okay, StRyKeR versus Sziky. Sziky obviously, or sorry, not StRyKeR versus Sziky. What am I saying? StRyKeR versus Hawk, and StRyKeR is of course the favorite here. But honestly, I could see Hawk taking it easily. Like he's favored, but number one, the matchup is volatile, and number two, the skill differential is not as high.
I agree. I agree with that. I think StRyKeR is going to be slightly favored, but I don't think it's a heavy favorite. You guys might have the wrong impression about Hawk after that last series because he did go up against an absolute god, but so did StRyKeR, right? So I think this will be a little bit more evenly matched for sure. Okay, it looks like our players are ready, so we're going to hop into this first game. It's going to be StRyKeR versus Hawk here on Radeon. right, spawning here in the top right corner in our first game of the North America USA team kill. We have our red Zerg striker.
And on the top left, our North American Zerg. I was trying to think of something different to say. It is Hawk. Our North American part-time Zerg. But they're also both part-time, I'm pretty sure. So it's a little hard to come up with a unique introduction. I'm going to have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, there's not many full-timers outside of Korea to begin with, right? We're just not good enough or don't have the time. It's also, you know, we're old. A lot of us got families, right? I'm probably the closest thing to the ability to go full-time, but I just don't have the skill set to ever make use of that. So it's a little bit wasted on me, unfortunately.
I also feel like we're the two of us are in a bit of a different situation because we're definitely better casters than we are players. So that's probably where the income is coming from, rather than for someone like Hawk or StRyKeR who makes a lot more money playing tournaments.
I take offense to that. Calling me a better caster than a better player?
Yeah. You disagree?
I think I'm maybe, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Oh, okay. Hawk's in trouble.
I know I'm definitely a better, like, I'm so bad at this game, too. I was literally playing earlier and I was just like, I can't figure out TVP, like, I don't know what to do. It's like maulding. Oh my god.
I wasn't sure to answer because I couldn't tell if I wanted to say that I was a decent player or a bad caster. Right, that's what I was trying to figure out in my head, for that to be more evened out. But this game's kind of over. I think Hawk's just dead. We got close spawn 12 hatch versus 9 pool.
Well, we did it. We figured out the one case where the 9 pool is is gonna win you the game. This is ballsy, though, from Hawk. Like, I don't know if Hawk was actually watching, like, this series before he started playing, but, like, StRyKeR has been doing 9 pool in the other series as well. So, yeah, opening 12 hatch is, like, a choice.
Well,
for sure.
I mean, I guess he's not dead. We have to cancel this hatchery. Oh, we're going to pull drones. Okay, we're going to pull drones and start to make lanes. Man, this is such a hard hold. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's... I think it might not even be playable if you sack the hatchery. I think I asked about this before. Actually, gets a really good drill. He's going to get 2 lings for free.
Wait, are we going to successfully hit this? There's no way.
No. This is too much damage.
We're going to lose the drones and the hat. This is a rough start.
Yeah, I think this game's over. And now StRyKeR just goes back home. He keeps making lings and he defends. He's got his lair on the way, so all he has to do is not die. Or his spire even already on the way, so... Yeah, I think at this point, you can even just pull off of gas if you want to, and just kind of optimize your mineral mining, because you only need 1 or 2 meters to end the game. So just basically not dying is winning now for StRyKeR.
Yeah, he's just so far ahead in tech, right? Like, even if StRyKeR makes nothing but lings from here on out, right? He even, like, invested money into the Sunken Colony. Hawk has to break him because he just doesn't have anything. Like, even if he starts droning, right? Like, how's he going to defend the mutas? He needs tech, and tech takes time as well.
Yeah, we even saw a drone come out from StRyKeR. And what is Hawk planning on doing this drone? He's going to make another hatchery, but there's no way that hatchery ever comes into play before the game's over. But that is what he's going for. Not sure how that helps him. Maybe he goes Evo Chamber next, actually. But even that,
I think he's just gonna
even that sounds unplayable. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The hatchery never comes into play with lings before metas are out. We'll see, though. We'll see. The spire is exposed again, actually, so...
It's in the same place as game number... What was it, game number 2?
Game 1 as well, yeah. Because I think both the games
went on. That's a lot.
Game 1
That's a lot of lings, and I think Hawk might be making a bit of a mistake trying to go for the Sunken here. The Sunken is, of course, the most well-defended building in this game, being like the most drillable location by far.
Yeah, he did get a lot of drones. We are going to get our spores up, but I
The
don't
timing
know.
is very tight. I don't know if they're on time.
Yeah, even if they do get up in time, the top left of his mineral line is also exposed, but StRyKeR can just drone and expand from here and never let Hawk expand.
Oh my god, they barely finish. Wait, Hawk is kind of... I think Hawk is kind of doing it?
Well, he's alive. We'll see what StRyKeR wants to do. I really think StRyKeR can just expand. Like, he can just play to expand and drone now. Yeah, he's going to move out to expand. He's going to fan out for Overlords. He's going to catch one Overlord from Hawk, which is going to supply block him. And yeah, StRyKeR can kind of do whatever he wants, to be honest. Yeah.
Dancing Overlord over top of the layer. But these two Spore Colonies, right? Like, we need them to defend against mutas, basically until we get our own muta. But I feel like the second Hawk gets his own mutas, we're going to be... well, I guess now that StRyKeR is taking another base and droning up, we're still playing the catch-up game. But I don't know. It really looked like he was dead for a while, but I feel like he's going to catch up. Or he can catch up at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job not just dying, right? So we can give him credit for that. But this game state is, we'll say, less than ideal for Hawk here.
Very StRyKeR favored, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make a Kree colony for another Sunken as well, because he doesn't know if there's like a Ling Flood or anything coming, right? So
yeah, on top of being behind in tech, we simply do not have access to information, right? So I guess we are just gonna have to assume the worst.
Oh, third
and
score.
We have like kind of a crazy SimCity setup though, and two hatcheries done well, finished well before StRyKeR's second hatchery will finish. So it's not hopeless, right? Like we have our own little advantages here and there, but it's definitely going to be playing catch up from here on.
Yeah, the main issue is that StRyKeR is going to get access to a second gas, and Hawk will never have a second gas. Yeah, it's just hard to imagine he can ever catch up in the air. I like what StRyKeR did, so this is kind of what I was expecting, right? He goes for this hatchery. You need to be careful taking a bunch of damage on these mutas for no reason, because there is going to be a moment where Hawk's going to be able to make, 5-6 mutas, and that's kind of going to be when Hawk is strongest, so you just want to be careful not to take too much damage on your muta so you don't lose a fight that you shouldn't be losing.
Yeah, StRyKeR basically just has to play it. He's kind of trying to see if he can get any damage done at all. But yeah, the setup from Hawk is just so safe that there really isn't even a point in trying.
Maybe I'm being over dramatic. I was gonna say I'm a little worried for StRyKeR, but that might be over dramatic. He's got a bunch of extra mutas coming out. He's got the extra gas income. I was just thinking I think it's 6 mutas coming from Hawk right now, but yeah, with the extra mutas coming out for StRyKeR, it's not gonna matter that he's taking a bunch of damage.
Yeah, that's 6 mutas right off the bat. I think we've already more or less caught up to StRyKeR's muta count. And we're going to take our own natural as well with this drone that's coming out. Oh, he's actually going for a hidden base. That's actually quite smart, because I feel like as soon as you see Hawk go for another base, as StRyKeR, you're going to try and contest that like ASAP with your present muta advantage.
Okay, so I think what Hawk's thinking here, okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Is he wants to look like he's on one base and wait for StRyKeR to try to kill him. And then take a big advantage from the trading with the spores. But StRyKeR actually very smartly going to take his third base as well. I mean, it's very rare that you have such a healthy eco as Zerg and ZVZ. Yeah, I think this is smart from StRyKeR. This kind of basically makes it where any win condition that Hawk might have had kind of evaporates when we take this third base.
Yeah, I think Hawk is his only hope was basically for StRyKeR to assume that he's going to plan something off of one base, but in reality he's expanding. Unfortunately, StRyKeR kind of played with that in mind, and he's even going to scout the third base with his Ling here. So nothing really going Hawk's way for this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only play we might see from Hawk now is he defends this base with his Lings, and he waits for StRyKeR to try to kill it with mutas, and then he can threaten the counterattack. So it actually makes it a little bit hard for StRyKeR to clear, but like I said, StRyKER's going up to his third gas, so he can even let Hawk have it, and it's actually not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if Hawk gets this base up or not. We're still going to be ahead regardless. But knowing that base exists kind of lets StRyKER breathe a sort of sigh of relief, where he's like, okay, he's not gonna hit me with something unexpected. He's just behind.
Yeah, StRyKER actually has multiple control groups of mutas here trying to defend multiple bases. I mean, this is kind of the only thing that I'd say is like good for Hawk. So this base from Hawk is really smart. If he takes the natural, there's just no way he can defend it, because StRyKER can just fight him head on and defend himself. There's no like threat of a counterattack, right? By putting the base down here, StRyKER can't actually go kill it because of the threat of counterattack. And if he sends like some of his mutas, then Hawk can actually go kill the mutas with his entire flock, whereas StRyKER can't counterattack because we got a bunch of spores in the main. So this expansion from Hawk is super smart. I just don't think it matters, unfortunately. Wow, we're gonna lose a drone.
Yeah, the one way that StRyKER definitely can counterattack, though, and we saw it happen right then, is with Lings.
Yeah.
Just like sending even a couple Lings over to apply some pressure is going to be effective. Now StRyKER actually coming in with a huge mutaflock here, and this is going to cause Hawk to react by going for a counterattack of his own. A giant flock of Scourge going to try and defend it here, but I feel like Hawk might have enough to do two things at once. But we're just going to see how the Scourge connects here.
Yeah, and StRyKER very smartly immediately pulled his mutas back, so even if he were to lose this fight, he has the reinforcements coming, but he even has enough to win this fight with only half of the flock. So I understood what Hawk was thinking, but it's just StRyKER so far ahead, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, the counterattack threat unfortunately didn't work because we had enough units and economy to basically do both at once, and unfortunately Hawk he did manage to defend the attack from StRyKER in the end, but he traded out a lot of his mutas, and now StRyKER has an overwhelming advantage in the air here, and I don't see Hawk ever being able to come back from something like this.
Yeah, we're so far ahead, we're just man-mode.
We're just taking the Scourge shot like we don't even care. It's like, whatever. Come here.
Yeah, GG, gonna be called. StRyKER gonna go up 1-0. Definitely one of those games where unfortunately just a build order advantage, kind of almost a build order win, just theoretically it is, right? Against Hawk, so
yeah.
that is the nature of ZVZ.
The most build order disadvantage that you could reasonably expect in a ZVZ happen, which is rather unfortunate for Hawk in game number 1 here. Another thing, though, that I thought was kind of interesting is, so in Sziky versus StRyKER, we saw the mass lane counterattack push through the choke, and in both games, he went straight for the Spire. But this time around, Hawk didn't actually go for the Spire. He went for the Sunken.
Yeah,
I wonder if he went for the Spire, maybe that could have been different, but he also didn't have as many Lings as Sziky did in the previous game.
Yeah, he could have killed the Spire. It's hard to say for sure. Yeah, but yeah, he ended up going for either way. Like attacking the Sunken, obviously not great. He did kill a handful of drones, but okay, our players are ready. We're gonna hop into Dominator here for our game 2. We'll see if Hawk can pull it back. Yeah, let's go. All right, spawning here in the top spawn, we have our blue Zerg currently down 0-1. Gonna have to win 2 in a row. We have Hawk.
And on the bottom left spawn, basically one of the top North American Zergs, it is StRyKER. I know some of you guys would argue, oh, but what about Crossy? I feel like it's still StRyKER. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on this?
Oh, you think so? I mean, I guess it depends how active Crossy is, and maybe I just haven't seen enough of them. I would give an edge to Crossy personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, it depends on Crossy's activity, I think, because sometimes he's not playing a whole lot, I do believe, and it does show at times. But I think when he's active, I would say Crossy's one of the best, if not the best in AZ.
I guess I haven't experienced enough of active Crossy to be able to make that judgment call, but I do know that StRyKeR feels really, really strong, at least right now.
Yeah, and just a reminder for our viewers, this is a best of 3, not a best of 5, so it is do or die for Hawk right now. If he loses this game, he is out of the BSL.
Yeah, it would be an unfortunate parting for one of our North American favorites. It seems like this time around, StRyKeR is going for pool first once again, but not quite the same as last game, not quite doing a 9 pool. And Hawk decides not to go for a 12 hatch either. So this is a much more even game in terms of build orders.
Yeah. What was that? I'm sorry, I was reading chat again. Was this 12 pool versus over pool? Is that what I'm looking at? That's what it looks like, yeah. Okay. So yeah, yeah, a little bit favored for Hawk actually, so this is a good start for Hawk. Okay. Not an auto loss this time.
Good start, good start. We are going to get our second base up really quickly. So, in the meantime, StRyKeR is going for a fast layer. So once again, we're going to see StRyKeR open with very, very fast Mutalisks. And Hawk is going to try for something a lot more economic.
Yeah, and this build order matchup, it's a much more kind of defensive position for Hawk. It's a little bit less defensive since it is overpull instead of 9 pull. A lot of times with 9 pull, you're pulling drones and stuff to help defend. But against overpulls, you should be able to defend with just lings. And Hawk, Hawk knows the game like really, really well. He doesn't play a whole lot lately with Zerg, but he understands like what should be done. So I suspect he'll understand exactly how to respond to this situation.
Yeah, and his Overlord does in fact fly in to see exactly what kind of build order StRyKeR is doing. So Hawk should realistically know exactly what is going on and exactly how to respond. He has perfect information, and he even has more lings here. So everything going well for Hawk. We're just going to need to see how well he defends or delays the... Because I do believe... actually, I'm not sure. I want to say StRyKeR's mutas should be able to get to Hawk's base before Hawk's mutas can come out.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play Spores in this scenario, but it's typically 12 pool favored. So if Hawk doesn't make mistakes, if he plays it, theoretically correctly, it should be a really good game state for him by the end of it.
Yeah, the general rule is usually like the build order that lets you get slightly more drones is always going to be favored, even if your attacking units come out later, because you just have to make sure that you don't take any damage from that from in the moment of time where your opponent has a unit advantage.
Yeah,
but
the two major advantages for this matchup for Hawk is A, he has more larva, right? And B, he has access to a second gas when he's ready for it. The disadvantage, of course, being that you have to play defensive, so you are making the spores. You're on the back foot a little bit for a while, but once you stabilize, you just have that that access to that second gas, which is really the big kicker.
Yeah, in a matchup that's as dependent on Mutalisks, which costs 100 gas, as ZVZ. Having twice the amount, it basically means you're like twice as rich. So it really is on StRyKeR to try and get damage done in this game here, because even if he takes his natural now, he's still going to be like very far behind in terms of resources.
Yeah, he's going to try to find some chip damage now. He might try to threaten with lings as well. Sometimes you'll see the Zerg go for a sunken in this situation because they're worried about getting ling flooded. We saw actually a game, I think it was with StRyKeR versus someone, I don't remember who it was, but we actually saw them sniping lings with their metas and killing them with the ling flood after. So sometimes you'll see like really cool win conditions like that. This Overlord flying through this Spore, gonna get pretty low. It shouldn't die, but a little bit scary. And yeah, here we go. We see the Lings coming here. We got that extra sunken that is being made to try to help hold on here. Drones are going to be pulled to help defend. Lings are going to make it into the main base, and the mutas are going to sit between here. Oh, a little bit of a pathing issue for StRyKeR. So only one Ling gets inside.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what happened there, because it looked like 5 Lings managed to get in, and that would have been devastating for Hawk, but for some reason they turned around and ran straight back into Hawk's Lings. So Hawk actually manages to defend this, taking pretty much minimum losses, and now StRyKeR forced to take his own natural and play from behind.
Yeah, Hawk's going to be very, very happy with how this went, being able to defend that push without taking any real damage. Maybe he lost a drone or two, maybe. I don't even know that he did, actually, but yeah, just a little bit of mining time essentially was lost, but he's going to be set up very happily defensively here, right? Very comfortable, and going to start that second gas pretty much right away, and that's where we're going to start to see that advantage coming in for Hawk now. Really good job stabilizing. I like the Sim City with the 2 spores here on the outside of the bases, because it allowed those mutas, like the mutas that wanted to sit between and snipe Lings, had such a small pocket to sit in, and they kept drifting into the spores and taking damage.
Yeah, this is... I can see what StRyKeR was trying to do, but yeah, Hawk's building placement made it really, really difficult. So overall, just a really good defense here from Hawk, and I'm pretty excited to see how he chooses to play the next bit of the game. What I'm expecting is with 2 hatches, now going into 3 hatches and 2 gases, we're going to see a lot of mutas, a lot of Lings, and we're going to try and steamroll StRyKeR.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just going to kind of have this big advantage, this big eco advantage. He's going to be mining the second gas for so long before StRyKeR gets his online. And then it's so hard to really catch up. There's, outside of just insane micro, when you're behind in the muta count, you kind of just lose, unfortunately. Like,
yeah, it's really odd. It's really odd. If you and your opponent both just have muta balls, like, there isn't a whole lot of micro to do, right? Like yeah, you can stack up the mutas and everything, but a lot of times it might just be better to let the mutas micro themselves, because what can you really do other than just like go in, attack, leave? But I don't know. It doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of micro there aside from dodging Scourge.
Yeah, there is. So there actually is a little bit. If there's a big gap in skill, like if you have someone that's just like right-clicking mutas and another guy that's actually moving the muta ball like back and forth, there actually is a micro you can do to get a big advantage. If one player's micro and the other one's not, and the other one's really good at it. But you don't see it really happen ever, because it kind of requires a bit of a skill discrepancy for it to come into play.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the skill discrepancy is big enough, there's definitely a micro advantage you can gain. But
between these two players, though, I don't expect that.
Yeah, as good as StRyKeR's muta micro is, and it is very, very good, I'm not sure if the skill difference is really that much higher compared to Hawk. I feel like we're just going to see bigger muta count win.
Yeah, Hawk also has very good muta control. We're actually going to 3 bases for both players here. There should be a window where Hawk can get aggressive. Actually, we're kind of even on the mutas, although we have Scourge for Hawk and none for StRyKeR, it looks like. So maybe there's really not that much of a window for Hawk to get in and finish this. We see him enjoying a pretty healthy supply lead. A lot of it's in drones. His eco is actually insane compared to StRyKeR. He's got the extra hatchery as well.
Yeah, this is a very interesting choice from Hawk to turn his eco advantage into an attempt to make an even bigger eco advantage. Because I feel like this is like the safe play, I guess, but it also kind of means that if StRyKeR is greedy enough, your eco advantage might disappear, just like over time, basically.
Yeah, StRyKeR gonna find here, get a couple drones and dip out. So nice little pick there for him. Yeah, the main thing that Hawk would have going for him with this many more drones is there's actually So if you're even on mutas, but you have more mineral income, Lings can easily start to make the difference because you kind of threaten constant like run-bys and counterattacks, and you're pulling the mutas all over the place. You can actually create a lot of chaos if you have a big mineral advantage.
Yeah, that's really the only thing you can do with mutas in this matchup, or not with mutas, sorry, with minerals, because unless you were going for something kind of off meta like Hydra ZVZ, I don't want to call it crazy because I've seen it enough times that, first of all, I've seen it enough times, and the games that I've seen it were exciting enough that I don't want to call it crazy. I'll just call it off. Right? If we're doing something like Hydra ZVZ, then the extra minerals are kind of huge because it just means you're going to get more Hydras. But additional Lings, they're really, really, really good, but it's not the same level of good as just having more of the same unit. Or just more like fighting units, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this game goes. Are we actually going to go to Hive? We're just going to keep expanding and taking more and more bases? Like, what exactly is the game plan for both players here?
This definitely feels like Hawk is aiming to turn this into a Hive. He's going to assume StRyKeR's going to keep building mutas and Lings forever, but he's going to have a couple Devourers. That's my caster prediction, which may or may not be accurate at all, given the fact that he hasn't even started a Queen's Nest yet. But like, I don't know. I feel like when you get into a situation where you're on 4 bases, like, do you really just want to keep playing the muta Ling game?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that one. I actually think at this point, when you have this much eco, working towards Hive makes way more sense, but both players are just staying on that Ling and muta, surprisingly. I mean, we're at the 12.5 minute mark, going up to 4 bases here for Hawk on 4 gases, and fortunately for StRyKeR, he's just also staying on muta, and Hawk's eco is pretty insane. That top right base has like really nice saturation too for ZVZ, and he's just kind of enjoyed an eco advantage this entire game.
Yeah, enjoyed is definitely the right word, because I definitely feel like Hawk is enjoying himself right now. He's just like comfortably macroing. He has a nice lead, and now he has like 3 control groups of mutas right now. Like, this is the biggest muta flock I've seen in a long time. It's the kind of muta flock you'd expect it like in a ZVT against mech, where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna build only mutas and like a move like the Goliaths, basically. So
it looks like Hawk might be pulling the trigger here. His +2 armor did finish, and we don't have +2 for StRyKeR, so Hawk has both more mutas and that upgrade advantage, which is pretty massive in this matchup.
Yeah. All right. And now Hawk is going to attack. Out micro this one, StRyKeR.
Yeah, I don't think there's any micro to be done here. This is going to be them A-moving into each other. Like I said, we're going to have that armor advantage and the flock advantage, so StRyKeR should just get eaten alive here.
Man.
Yeah. You want to call this fight? Can we get a play-by-play?
Happening.
Give us a play-by-play on what you're looking at right now.
What is going on? I think Hawk is winning. Hawk is definitely winning. There's no way Hawk is losing this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, Hawk just like absolutely demolished StRyKeR's arm.
Yeah, GG. That's the muta fight that we all wanted to see, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what we want when we watch ZVZ. 4 base versus 3 base. Tons and tons of mutas.
Yeah.
And just
30 mutas
chaos
versus
on the screen.
20.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty impressive showing from Hawk, though. Like, I think what really won him the game there was that really crisp defense, right? Like, StRyKeR actually had a scary amount of Lings, and he had mutas compared to Hawk having less Lings and no mutas, but he still managed to hold that really well with like good SimCity and good micro.
Yeah, 100%. Hawk played that very theoretically correct, right? StRyKeR did kind of have a little bit of a win condition that he kind of went for, running the Lings in and cutting off the Lings with his mutas, but a little bit of a mistake, it looked like, from the Ling movement. Didn't quite work out for him, and kind of after that, it was just all Hawk from there on.
Yeah, it was certainly his game to lose. And he chose to go out, or he chose to finish the game with 4 base 50 mutas, which honestly, like, respectable. I was expecting him to pull the trigger a lot earlier, but I think if he did it earlier, it might have been like more of a there might have been more of a chance for StRyKeR to pull some kind of like upset where like, oh, maybe he had like a spore or under there, or maybe like he's gonna run by with a couple lings. I don't know. Like, I guess the later it goes, the more your advantage solidifies, and the more you can really secure the victory, as long as you can maintain your advantage.
Yeah. All right, looks like our players are going to be ready. Our final game here, going to be on Knockout. We got Hawk versus StRyKeR for the deciding match. Do or die for both players. We have Hawk spawning here in the top left corner as our red Zerg.
And the blue Zerg spawning on the top right. It is StRyKeR.
Interesting scout actually from Hawk. He sent his Overlord kind of at an angle down right. Not sure what we're looking for here. Are we just cross scouting with our Overlord? That's so weird. I've never seen that before in ZVZ.
The only other thing I can think of is maybe he wants to catch early lings on the scouting. No way. No way.
All right, StRyKeR
yeah, I
go
think he's just cross scouting.
Comfort 9 pull here for StRyKeR.
I mean, it worked so well the first time.
Hawk did go Overlord. We're going to keep an eye on his pull timing. Is it going to be a 12 pull or a 12 hatch? It would be a shame if he goes out of this series 2-0 with 12 hatches. And with that, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm getting kind of nervous for Hawk too. Like, oh, is he going to make a pool? Please make a pool.
Yeah, we're looking at a 12 hatch. That is a bit unfortunate. It's not 9 pull gas, at least from StRyKeR. Okay, it's an in-base hatchery.
Okay, this could be better for. It's definitely more a more defensible position.
Mm-hmm.
But the pool is just going to be so late, right? Like the lings are almost guaranteed to get there before the pool finishes, even. Or before the lings finish. Like it's... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like, lings have already started for StRyKeR. And the Overlord is unfortunately scouting in the correct direction. So StRyKeR knows, is going to know very soon where Hawk is.
Okay, so this is a build matchup that I actually don't know how it lines up as much, since I've never seen this before. I think it's still going to be StRyKeR favored. We do have that hatchery coming down for him because he didn't do the gas, right? But it should be more defensible, like you said, for Hawk. We'll see how many drones he loses. And we're not making more lings behind this actually for StRyKeR either, so I think it's fine. He is going to get a sunken out of him, though, when he sees the lings coming. Because he doesn't know if this is 9 pull speed or not, right? So this is kind of the big advantage that StRyKER is going to have, as he did get the scout versus the non-scout.
Oh, we canceled it. What?
Oh, you know why? Because he saw that there's no more lings coming. Really, really smart from Hawk.
Oh. Damn, Hawk with the big brain plays here. He knows exactly what he's doing. He actually manages to deflect this with basically 0 casualties. This is actually really well done by him. He's going to turn what we were both afraid might have been an instant loss into a very convincing lead here. But on the back, behind this though, of course, since StRyKeR didn't commit to it at all, he actually goes for the hatchery in the natural. So if Hawk lets StRyKeR get away with this, his lead is going to soon turn into a disadvantage.
I like the sunken call from StRyKeR because this is going to allow him to drone more. I think this is really, really smart. And Hawk was actually making more drones at home as well. So with this sunken up, you should be able to comfortably just kind of drone now for a while. We see the Spire starting here for Hawk. It's going to be a little bit ahead of StRyKeR, but it shouldn't be too bad. And, I mean, if we continue like this with no damage being done in either direction, it is going to be a StRyKeR advantage with the second gas access.
Yeah, the onus is sort of on Hawk to try and get damage done. with the mutas. We're actually going to go for a fast Evo chamber as well. I wonder if he thinks that StRyKeR went for like a really early hatch or a really early Spire timing.
Yeah.
Or if he's gonna if he's planning on getting like upgrades for the Lings.
No, he's worried about 9-pool layer, right? So he's gonna make these spores, and that's really, really unfortunate for Hawk. And this is kind of one of those moments where the not getting the scout versus getting scouted is really, really gonna hurt Hawk. And yeah, this is gonna make the game so difficult for him now.
Yeah, that's really rough. That Hawk actually has the muta timing advantage here, but he's playing as if he's at a muta timing disadvantage. And this is unfortunately letting StRyKeR get away with this really greedy second base here. So we all thought that Hawk is going to come into this with a convincing lead, but unfortunately StRyKeR, now with 2 gas and a very healthy economy, he might soon run this game over with his own economic advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough for Hawk. We see a bunch of the mutas just started up for StRyKeR, and you know, Hawk just now scouted the natural and got the bad news, so he's definitely super unhappy with this. He's going to have to try to make something happen, but there's not going to be a window for his mutas. He's not going to have access to being able to expand, and yeah, GG just going to be called. Really, really unfortunate for Hawk, but I think that's a pretty reasonable GG timing. It's not really playable anymore. Man, that's tough.
Yeah, that's rough. Like, yeah, what can you do, right? Like, it's you're at such a disadvantage at that point that like I guess he just decided it wasn't even worth trying to play it out because there's just you just don't have any like path to success there. Like you're just behind on every front.
Yeah, there's really no, I couldn't even theory crafting a comeback for you. Like there's just no way of playing that out. Really unfortunate not getting that scout right with his overlord. And this is, we always talk about the big advantage you have of getting the earlier scout. And I feel like this game, the way this played out is like kind of like the premier example of how devastating it is not to be able to scout your opponent, so you just can't respond correctly. But that's going to do it for Hawk. Hawk is going to be out of the BSL here in the round of 8, and StRyKeR is going to move on to the next round of loser bracket, and he'll be waiting for pretty tough game. Oh no, sorry, he's going to be playing the loser of the second bracket, so he's not going to be waiting for Zyziry Dewalt. So at least that's good for him.
Yeah, there won't be a Zyziry StRyKeR rematch, at least not right away. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. I think I think Hawk ended up putting quite a good showing, especially in that second game there. Like he kind of dominated. Yeah. Just like perfectly defended StRyKeR's counterattack, and ended up like just like carrying his lead right up until the end of the game. So Hawk kind of showing us that his ZVZ is nothing to be is definitely something you should still fear, even as someone as good as StRyKeR.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that second game, it really is a good showcasing of kind of Hawk as a player. It's when I was talking about going into the game, right? That he understands the game on a really, really deep level, and his execution of those understandings, maybe not always perfect because he doesn't play a whole lot, especially with his Zerg, right? But he executed that one really, really well. He understands the theory of the game. But yeah, that is going to wrap up the games for today. Tomorrow we're going to have Cross versus Tech, Bonnet and Eon Zerg. I think Bonnet and Eon Zerg might actually be a series to watch out for. Things in that series could get kind of crazy.
All right. Yeah, thank you to everybody who is watching. And of course, thanks to everyone who is supporting BSL on Patreon. Here are the wonderful Patreon supporters who make this tournament possible. All of you are doing your part in keeping StarCraft alive and well.
Yeah, we can do some specific shout outs here. So we can talk about the big supporters here for the BSL21. We have a 2,000. Yeah. We got a $2,000 donation from CRVT. I've actually hit him on the ladder recently a couple of times, and he seems like a super nice guy during my ladder challenge that I'm going through. And yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. Huge donation from him too. So thank you so much for that big support. We got $1,400 from Jziriy. I have no idea how to say that. $600 from StRyKeR. Some anonymous donation, 560, 320 from Tangard. Thanks for the big donations, guys. And then for our Patreons, Wolf of Wall Street, we got Andrew for $200 a month. Bombastic General, $100 a month is My Fleeting Dream. Bombastic Colonel, we got StRyKeR at $50 a month. Bombastic Major, $30 a month. We got Tupac, Torso Driver. $20, we got Chaosu, KJ, LML, Medino, Nicholas Schuler, Scheming Gypsy, Steven Robertson. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give. It allows us to keep doing this, allows us to keep bringing you StarCraft, and kind of gives me a job at this point, actually. So, yeah, really appreciate you guys. And again, also big shout out to Zero, right? Zero putting all this together, the man behind the scenes, kind of running everything, doing all the kind of the scheduling and the production and everything. As someone that recently started doing my own tournaments as well, can confirm that managing and scheduling these players can be an absolute nightmare sometimes. So mad respect to Zero for doing so much by himself.
Yeah, thank you to Zero for putting everything together. It's really it truly is wonderful what he does to this community. Putting up like probably the biggest foreign tournament in all of StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
So good job, well done. And yeah, thanks to Zero, thank you to the Patreon supporters, the donators, and of course to our Twitch viewers, our chat, all the people watching at home enjoying StarCraft on a nice Saturday evening. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with some more StarCraft, Cross Tech Boneth and Eon Zerg. So same time tomorrow.
Yep, same time tomorrow, guys. Make sure you tune in and watch those games. But that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.